Forward. This book is one of the most renowned introductory psychology books in the UK. It tells the story of Mr. Toad, a character battling depression who regains his confidence and happiness through 10 therapy sessions. Mr. Toad is a character from the beloved British classic The Wind in the Willows. In the UK, he is a figure whose stories everyone grows up with. In the original story, Mr. Toad is boastful, adventurous, and thrill-seeking, but also prone to losing interest quickly. Together with 3 friends, he embarks on an adventurous journey fraught with peril and mishaps, narrowly escaping with his life. Upon returning home, he discovers his manor has been taken over by villains. Fortunately, the story concludes with a happy ending as Mr. Toad and his friends work together to reclaim the manor, leading him to realize the value of home and friendship. However, the cheerful and mischievous Mr. Toad finds himself struggling in this book. He becomes reclusive, staying alone in his home with a gloomy demeanor. When his friends visit, he breaks down in tears. Concerned, they suggest he try therapy. His therapist is Mr. Heron, a newcomer to the village. Mr. Heron can be seen as a stand-in for the book's author, Robert Debord, a seasoned British psychotherapist who taught at Henley Business School and authored several best-selling psychology books. In 1997, when Debord was in his 60s, he compiled decades of research and practical experience into this book, making psychology accessible to ordinary readers. It has remained a long-time bestseller for over 2 decades. In the story, Mr. Heron comes across as a kind and wise elder, much like Debord himself. The main storyline revolves around the 10 therapy sessions Mr. Toad undergoes with Mr. Heron. Through these sessions, readers can experience what therapy feels like. The author masterfully intertwines the core concepts, tools, and techniques of psychotherapy into the narrative and dialogue. The entire process serves as a model for standard therapy. After reading the book, I had 2 key takeaways to share with you. First, I now understand the purpose and value of psychotherapy. Second, I gained insight into the actual work of therapists. Now, let me walk you through the book, divided into these 2 parts. Part 1. What is the purpose of psychotherapy? I've never undergone therapy myself. I used to imagine it as a comfortable chat where the therapist listens empathetically and offers advice, much like having a supportive friend by your side during difficult times, providing a sense of security and comfort. In short, I expected therapy to be a pleasant experience. However, Mr. Toad's therapy sessions were nothing like that. As his therapist, Mr. Heron often put Mr. Toad under significant pressure, asking questions that left him confused, frustrated, or even angry. During some sessions, Mr. Toad was on the verge of breaking down. It was far from enjoyable. In their first session, Mr. Heron didn't say a word as he observed Mr. Toad, leaving him feeling increasingly uneasy. Eventually, Mr. Toad broke the silence, asking, "Aren't you going to tell me what to do to feel better?" Instead of answering, Mr. Heron questioned Mr. Toad. Why was he seeking therapy? Who was paying for it? Mr. Toad admitted that he was there because his friends urged him to come and that they would cover the cost. Hearing this, Mr. Heron told Mr. Toad he shouldn't return for therapy. His reasoning? Mr. Toad wasn't seeking help of his own volition. It was his friends who wanted him to. This statement infuriated Mr. Toad. Notice that Mr. Heron didn't offer patient listening, deep empathy, or practical advice. Instead, he questioned and rejected Mr. Toad's expectations. This was completely different from what Mr. Toad had anticipated, and from what I had imagined therapy to be. This dynamic continued in subsequent sessions. For instance, at the start of the second session, Mr. Heron again remained silent for a while. This time, however, he broke the silence first by asking, "How are you feeling today?" Mr. Toad's polite response was, "I'm fine, thank you." Mr. Heron, however, wasn't satisfied with this surface-level reply and pressed further. "What are you truly feeling right now?" This probing made Mr. Toad even more uncomfortable. Why did Mr. Heron's responses and questions make Mr. Toad feel uneasy? It's because they defied his expectations. Clearly, Mr. Heron was doing this intentionally. But why? Let's revisit the first session. Mr. Heron's refusal to proceed provoked Mr. Toad into asking, "What do I need to do to continue therapy?" This moment was pivotal. Mr. Heron's rejection highlighted the fact that Mr. Toad wasn't seeking therapy willingly. By repeatedly bringing up who was paying for the sessions, Mr. Heron emphasized this point. It's easy to assume that the source of payment doesn't matter as long as the therapist gets paid, but this situation is more complex. Often in real life, parents pay for their children's therapy, or spouses cover each other's costs. However, upon reflection, you realize that when someone relies on another person to foot the bill, even if they improve, they might attribute their progress to the other person's help, or worse, view it as an act of charity. The goal of therapy is personal change, but in such passive arrangements, genuine transformation is hard to achieve. By rejecting Mr. Toad initially, Mr. Heron forced him to confront a fundamental question. Do I truly want to change? When Mr. Toad clarified this for himself and decided to continue therapy, it became a choice he made for himself, not to appease his friends. Any subsequent change would therefore be his own. This type of therapy has the potential to be truly effective. In their first session, Mr. Heron disrupted Mr. Toad's habitual passivity, making him take responsibility for his own change. In their second session, Mr. Heron used probing questions to challenge another of Mr. Toad's ingrained patterns. When Mr. Heron repeatedly asked how Mr. Toad felt, Mr. Toad, unable to answer, finally asked, "What exactly do you mean by feelings?" This question might sound silly, but think about it. If someone were to press you to describe your current feelings, could you articulate them clearly? Most people rarely consciously observe their emotions, let alone describe them in words. Many of us habitually evade our emotions. Social anxiety, for instance, might lead us to avoid certain situations entirely. Mr. Toad behaved similarly. In The Wind in the Willows, whenever Mr. Toad interacted with his friends, he avoided silence by starting conversations like, "Hello, my friends. Guess what I've been up to lately?" This deflected attention from how he was truly feeling. By asking persistently about Mr. Toad's feelings, Mr. Heron aimed to make him aware of his habit of ignoring his emotions, something Mr. Toad had likely never realized was a problem. Then, Mr. Heron introduced an exercise. He asked Mr. Toad to imagine an emotional thermometer, where 1 represented feeling utterly despondent and 10 represented sheer happiness. Mr. Toad marked somewhere between 1 and 2 without hesitation. They discussed whether Mr. Toad had ever felt suicidal, what had caused those feelings, and how he felt now. Mr. Toad shared that he often felt his life was a mess, and as he spoke, he began to cry. For the first time, the therapy session aligned with my expectations. The therapist asking questions, the client sharing their feelings. Mr. Toad opened up about an incident from his adventurous past. Mr. Toad recounted a specific episode where he had acted recklessly and suffered public embarrassment. The humiliation from that incident had left a deep scar on his confidence. He admitted that ever since then, he'd avoided taking risks or engaging with others, fearing further shame. As Mr. Toad unraveled his emotions, Mr. Heron didn't judge or offer advice. Instead, he listened attentively, occasionally asking clarifying questions to help Mr. Toad express himself more precisely. This approach allowed Mr. Toad to better understand his own feelings and recognize how that past event continued to influence his current behavior. In this second session, Mr. Heron was guiding Mr. Toad toward self-awareness, helping him understand not only what he was feeling but also where those feelings came from and how they shaped his actions. By the end of the session, Mr. Toad admitted he felt lighter, as though a burden had been lifted. This outcome revealed another purpose of therapy: to help clients reconnect with and process their emotions, paving the way for change. Part 2. What exactly does a therapist do? After reading this book, I realized that therapy isn't about solving problems for clients. Instead, it's about helping them face their inner struggles, understand their emotions, and discover the roots of their difficulties. Therapists don't give advice. They guide clients in finding their own answers. Take Mr. Heron, for instance. He didn't tell Mr. Toad how to deal with his depression or give him a step-by-step recovery plan. Instead, he asked questions that encouraged Mr. Toad to reflect and confront truths he had been avoiding. In their third session, Mr. Toad complained about feeling stuck and helpless, saying, "I've always been this way. People don't change." Mr. Heron didn't directly refute this belief. Instead, he asked, "What does being stuck feel like to you?" This simple question made Mr. Toad pause. He eventually described it as being trapped in quicksand. Every time he struggled to escape, he only sank deeper. Mr. Heron then asked, "When did you first feel this way?" This led Mr. Toad to recall a childhood memory of failing at school and being scolded by his father. It was the first time he had felt powerless and incapable. As Mr. Toad shared this memory, he realized he had been carrying this sense of inadequacy ever since. Through such questions, Mr. Heron didn't just address Mr. Toad's current feelings of helplessness. He helped him trace the origin of those feelings, allowing Mr. Toad to see that they weren't inherent to who he was, but rather rooted in a specific experience. The role of the therapist, as demonstrated by Mr. Heron, is to create a safe space where clients can explore their emotions and past experiences without fear of judgment. By doing so, clients gain clarity about their inner world and, over time, become better equipped to make changes in their lives. A summary of the book's key lessons. Through the 10 therapy sessions between Mr. Toad and Mr. Heron, the book introduces readers to several fundamental concepts of psychotherapy. Personal responsibility. Change can only happen when a client actively wants to change and takes responsibility for their own growth. Emotional awareness. Therapy encourages clients to recognize, name, and understand their emotions rather than suppressing or avoiding them. Exploration of the past. Many present struggles have their roots in past experiences. By uncovering and processing these memories, clients can free themselves from their influence. The therapist's role. Therapists are not advice givers or problem solvers. They are guides who help clients navigate their inner world. By the end of the book, Mr. Toad not only overcomes his depression, but also learns to approach life with a new sense of confidence and purpose. His transformation is a testament to the power of therapy when approached with openness and commitment. Closing thoughts. This book changed how I view psychotherapy. It's not an easy or pleasant process, but it's incredibly rewarding. It challenges clients to face their fears and confront uncomfortable truths, which can be both painful and liberating. If you've ever wondered what therapy is like or are curious about the inner workings of the therapeutic process, I highly recommend this book. It's not just an introduction to psychotherapy. It's also a deeply moving story about healing and growth. Let me know if you'd like to refine this further or focus on specific details.